Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, I'm joined by Dee.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Let's get right into it. Every year, millions of people tune in to watch the Super Bowl live. Fans from all over the world come together to watch one of the most important sports events take place, and these fans are just as eager for the football game as they are for the Super Bowl halftime show and the Super Bowl ads. Watching the Super Bowl ads has become a tradition for sports fans and even non-sports fans alike. Most people that watch the Super Bowl believe that it's all about sports and fun, but what if I told you there's more to that special night? In previous Super Bowl ads and performances, we have seen signs that proves the Super Bowl is just another tool used to manipulate the masses. We all remember previous Super Bowl performances like Madonna's halftime performance back in 2012, when she could be seen wearing horns on her head and showing occultic imagery. And we also remember The Weeknd's 2021 Super Bowl performance that showed The Weeknd was nothing more than a puppet who's being controlled. This year, once again, we can spot the usual Masonic imagery from Rihanna's Super Bowl performance and even the Super Bowl ads themselves. They continue the theme seen at the recent Grammy performance, showing more disrespect to God. The first ad we need to talk about is the Jack Harlow Dorito ad. Jack Harlow is one of the new rappers who became a chart-friendly artist in the last recent years, dropping several hit songs, solidifying his place in the music industry. Recently, he's been getting invited to all these high-profile industry events, like this 2022 VMA performance last year. In that VMA performance, you can start to see Jack, just like the rest of the puppets who took the oath, showing signs of his alliance. It's not a coincidence Jack would become a superstar. Right at the same time, he starts showing open Masonic imagery. In this 2023 Super Bowl ad for Doritos, we saw open Masonic imagery that's hard to deny. His Super Bowl ad is called Jack's New Angle, and he starts the ad by showing himself at a recording studio when he turns around and looks at a triangle. We already know exactly what the triangle represents. In the ad, Jack Harlow uses the triangle instrument to make a hit and become an even bigger star. Then for the rest of the ad, they just show a bunch of triangle worship, showing the fans manipulated by the triangle. This entire ad is just about Jack Harlow taking the oath and the Masonic order controlling the music industry. They showed the fans openly worshiping the triangle. Honestly, this is one of the most revealing ads out of all of them, especially when we look at the beginning when he turns around and directly stares at the triangle. They based the whole ad around the triangle, really didn't pay attention anything to the actual chip that they were trying to promote.
I definitely see what you're saying. And not to mention, in the beginning of that video, before he turns to the triangle, he's in the process of trying to make a hit record and it's not working. And he says, this isn't working. He has to try something new. He looks over at the triangle and he goes right to it. And you see how they even asked him, you're going to leave rap for this? And he says yes. And he becomes an even bigger star.
Yeah, and I don't think that was coincidental at all. Then you realize the entire video is a bunch of triangle worship. We continuously see it throughout the entire video. That's all they show. And this is one of the Super Bowl ads. You know, this is an ad that they spent millions of dollars just to have it aired during the Super Bowl. And this is how they wanted their chip to be presented. They literally didn't even mention the chip in the commercial, not once. It was literally just about the triangle. And we can see how the triangle changed the music industry. For it to be as obvious as this, we're starting to see that they're no longer even trying to hide it. There's no point in hiding it when most people just simply don't care. So what would be the point in hiding it?
Exactly. And I love the fact that you pointed out that this did not look like a Doritos commercial. From watching it myself, I had no idea what was going on. A normal Doritos commercial, would show the person eating the Doritos. Normally they're at a party with a bag of chips and somebody grabs it. No, they're just becoming so blatant with throwing this stuff in our face because they realize we can do this and they're not going to care anyways because there's not enough of us trying to seek the truth.
Before we move on to the next ad I wanted to talk about, I just want to let you guys know that I'm actually losing my voice. So if I sound a bit off on this video, it's because I'm currently losing my voice. Hopefully I'll be better by the next video. Let's move on to the next ad. The next ad I wanted to talk about was the Avocado ad. This ad was once again very revealing, pointing back to the corruption of man, the moment Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit. In this ad, they depict Adam and Eve eating the fruit and then showing the fall of mankind. They showed that our current world is a corrupt world, full of those who have chosen to be their own God and eat the fruit. This commercial was just as obvious as the last one. What does the story of Adam and Eve have anything to do with avocados? It literally, once again, does not match what they're trying to market to the masses. And the story that they're even trying to push with the avocado doesn't match either. Once again, it just comes across as a company spending a bunch of money to make an ad full of imagery that just pushes a specific agenda. We see this throughout the music industry consistently. We've already talked about it many times, how they point back to that exact moment, to Adam and Eve, to the fall of mankind, when Lucifer managed to convince Eve to eat the fruit and basically change the world forever. That's exactly what they show in this ad, showing the exact same thing. Many people believe that the forbidden fruit that Eve ate was an apple. In this ad, they show the avocado as the fruit that Eve eats, and they called the city the Big Avocado. Shows you that we're living in the fallen world, the world full of the people who've chosen to eat the fruit. This is exactly what this represents. This represents how the world was tricked into eating the fruit.
Definitely. And the fact that they called it the fruit that makes everything better was just blasphemy to me. I don't understand how they depicted that scene, had her eat the avocado, made the world, and called it a better reality than what we could have had if we would have just followed what we were supposed to do and not taken part of eating the fruit.
It's obvious what theme they were going with, and it's the same theme that we were seeing in the Grammy. Like we saw with The Last Supper and Jay-Z's performance.
It's definitely a recurring scene throughout the whole entire Hollywood. This is not shock factor no more. This is them literally throwing it in our faces, laughing at us because nobody's paying attention to this. Nobody wants to wake up and see they're mocking us. The way that we're supposed to be living, they want us to do the opposite. And you know what? Sadly, a lot of people in this world are happy with doing that.
Now let's move on. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Rihanna halftime performance. I have made several videos on Rihanna in the past, and I have shown plenty of evidence that, in my opinion, shows Rihanna took the oath. In this Super Bowl performance, we can see Rihanna wearing all red from head to toe, while her dancers were wearing all white. We already know what red represents, a sacrifice, and white represents the offering. At a certain point during the performance, we can see Rihanna throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye while her fans cheered. We then see Rihanna reveal that she's once again pregnant, strangely, during the same time she announced her pregnancy last year. Last year, I stated that I felt Rihanna's pregnancy announcement came at an interesting time. On this channel, I have proven that just like Rihanna, A$AP Rocky also seems to be an occultist who's taken the oath. Something that we can consistently see is that everything revealed to the masses is done for a reason. Last year I mentioned that I believe Rihanna revealed she was pregnant in February because of the ritual called Babylon working. The Babylon working is an incarnation ritual that was created by the occultist Aleister Crowley. An incarnation ritual is done by occultists to incarnate demonic spirits into a new life. According to Crowley, the Babylon working ritual can only be done during the months of January to March. The creator of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and the rocket scientist Jack Parson attempted the Babylon working incarnation ritual in hopes of summoning the goddess Babylon. According to the pair, they succeeded with their ritual, with their incarnated god being reborn in a woman named Marjorie Cameron. Then Ron and Jack, the following year, once again redid the ritual, and this time they were attempting to create a child as the vessel for their reincarnation. They declared their ritual successful, which means they managed to incarnate their god in the child. Rihanna just so happened to once again announce her pregnancy during when this ritual can be done. It's obvious Rihanna's an occultist, and she shows signs of this in this very Super Bowl performance. I'm pretty sure you remember, D, last year me and you spoke about this specific topic and got into how Rihanna was pregnant for a while, but she chose to announce her pregnancy specifically in February. Strangely enough, 1 year later, she announces her pregnancy once again around the same month, and this time it was during the Super Bowl performance. We can see her in the Super Bowl performance, showing that she's an occultist.
I definitely see what you're saying. And to add more to it, she performed for about 13 minutes. We already know that is a Masonic number. She also performed in all red. The same thing that Sam Smith had going on at the Grammys was very similar to what Rihanna had going on. She was the only person dressed in red, but the stage was red. It was lit up. So you already know. And like you mentioned, her throwing up that hand sign that everybody says, oh, it has nothing to do with anything. So why does everybody throw it up? Why are all these celebrities putting that sign up if it has nothing to do with anything and it doesn't have a meaning? And if it doesn't mean anything, why do we see all these celebrities doing it? They claim that it has nothing to do with anything, that it doesn't mean anything, but yet all of them do the same thing.
What I don't understand is the theme of the performance. Usually we see what they're going for, but in this one there's like no sense of direction and it just seems like purposeless imagery. But when we look at it from a different lens. Specifically, they're trying to depict Rihanna as some sort of god. We have to remember that if Crowley spoke about this ritual only being able to be done January to March, and then we see Rihanna once again announcing her pregnancy during the same time, I don't think this is a coincidence. I honestly feel like it's related and it plays a part on why she revealed it during this major event. Same thing as last year. Rihanna was pretty much quiet for the entire year until she announced her pregnancy. So it's obvious that she doesn't want to keep her child private, but she wants to specifically reveal her pregnancy during these months, which, like I said, we know these people do everything for a reason. We know that there's importance to it. Well, let's move on. The next thing I wanted to talk about was actually the outfit that Damar Hamlin and Lil Uzi were wearing to the Super Bowl. Damar was wearing a jacket that was called Travis Jesus jacket. And on the jacket, we can see how they openly mocked the crucifixion of Christ. The jacket showed a blasphemous version of Jesus being crucified. This is the imagery the industry is showing. The exact same imagery we saw from the Grammys Awards. When we take a look at Lil Uzi, he was also wearing a jacket, once again mocking the crucifixion of Jesus. I don't think that these outfits were just chosen for no reason. We can see them depicting the crucifixion of Christ. We see them place the pentagram over the Jesus being crucified, which again is just blasphemous and shows the theme that they were aiming for. We saw Rihanna being worshipped, throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye, announcing her pregnancy. We saw the Super Bowl ad commercials, and I honestly wasn't able to go through all of them, depicting open Masonic imagery, showing exactly who they serve. I don't think it's coincidental that him and Uzi wore this exact outfit for the Super Bowl where all this imagery is going on. And then we see Damar taking pictures with LeBron, one of the biggest puppets in the NBA, both doing Masonic hand gestures. We can see exactly what they were trying to do with this. It's the same thing we see with Kendrick Lamar mocking Jesus. It's the same thing we see with Kanye. It's the same theme that we've been seeing for the last 2 years.
The jacket that Damar is wearing is definitely blasphemy. The way that they mocked Jesus with the thorn crown on his head, they have his eyes looking like he is whacked out. His teeth are these razor-sharp teeth that are in his mouth. Next to the picture of him on the front, it says, "Without end or beginning, there is no day and there is no night." And the first person who had this mocked face of Jesus Christ was actually Travis Scott. The designer actually designed this chain for Travis Scott in January of 2021. Ironically, that was the same year of his Astroworld tragedy. Oh, and not to mention, the back of his jacket, they show him crucified on the cross, very sickly. And this is something that they wore as a fashion statement. This is not fashion.
And it's not like he just wore it outside to go hang out with his friends. He wore it to the Super Bowl, one of the biggest events where he knew all the cameras were going to be on all the celebrities, all the athletes that were attending the event. And this is exactly what message he wanted to put out. This is the exact same message the Grammys wanted to put out. This is the exact same message we saw from the VMAs. You know, they're not going to stop this. It's only going to continue to get worse like we've been seeing. Before I end this one, guys, I want to apologize because I am under the weather and I'm barely able to speak on this video. I wanted to wait to make this video, but I didn't want to continue to wait, and you guys kept requesting that I make it, so I tried my best to get it done. Most likely, I'll make a part 2 once my voice gets better. That's it for this video. I want to thank you all for showing up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you guys have a great week.
I just want to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truth Fit store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make goes directly to helping the channel and furthering Truth Records. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts below and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified when I drop new videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there for more truth. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.